Hi, my name's Ben Blasco and I'm a solution architect with Red Hat. Today I'm going to show you how to harden a Red Hat Enterprise Linux system according to the CIS benchmark. These are the steps we're going to take today. We're going to enable the Ansible repositories for Red Hat Enterprise Linux, install both Ansible and the SCAP security guide package, locate the relevant Ansible playbooks, and then harden our system using one of those playbooks. Let's take a look. Here I am on my Red Hat Enterprise Linux system. Let's start by checking which version of Red Hat Enterprise Linux we're running. So we'll look at the OS release file. Here we can see that we're running RHEL 8.5, which was released in November 2021. Now, the next thing we want to do is enable the Ansible repository for this system using Subscription Manager. So the command here is enable the repository, specifically Ansible 2.9. And of course, I do this by escalating to the root user to gain the appropriate privileges. Now, this command will take some time to run as it contacts Red Hat and checks the subscriptions for my system and enables the repository once it's confirmed that I do have a valid subscription. So we will wait a moment while that takes place. Okay, now it says that the repository has been enabled for the system and we will see it return to the command prompt. There you go. What we want to do next is install both Ansible, now that we've enabled the repository, and the SCAP security guide package. SCAP is an acronym short for Security Content Automation Protocol, and it allows us to scan our systems against vulnerabilities and also configuration compliance, which is what we're looking at today. It also includes Ansible playbooks for many compliance baselines, including CIS, which is of course what we're interested in this instance. So let's install these packages. Okay. Let's let that run and install. That will take a moment as well as it pulls the software down and installs it on our system. Right, so taking a look at this, I can see that it's installing 3 packages, not including SCAP Security Guide, which means that it was actually already installed on my host, which is fine. Now let's let it pull Ansible down and install it. This should only take a moment longer. Great, so now all of these packages are installed. Now what I'm going to do is switch to the directory where I know that the Ansible playbooks provided by the SCAP security guide package live, and have a look in there. So this is under user/share/SCAP security guide/Ansible. Okay, so let's have a look, see what's in the directory. Right, so here on screen we can see that there are actually a large number of files with names that relate to both Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 and Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8. There are also some RHEL 6 playbooks off screen. We can see names that relate to certain security baselines. For example, here I can see that there is a playbook for Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8 for the Australian Cybersecurity's Essential 8. Profile. So that's a profile I could select, which is interesting to me here in Australia. However, today we're interested in CIS, and we can see a few of those here. Let's actually confirm all of the CIS playbooks available in this directory. Okay, we've got a wildcard there. Right, so there are 4 playbooks available to us here that cover both CIS level 1 compliance for workstations and servers, as well as level 2. As you can see, the bottom playbook is not called level 2, but if we were to look inside it, we would see that it is the CIS level 2 playbook for servers. I'm going to select the CIS server level 1 playbook today and run that. The level 1 baseline is a little bit less stringent, let's say, than level 2, and will take less time to run. So let's have a look at how we would run this with Ansible. Of course, we need to escalate our privileges, run the playbook against the local system, in other words, local host, and select the correct playbook. Okay, so here the command tells us we're running against the local host. As I said, connect using the local connection method rather than the default SSH that an Ansible playbook would typically use to connect to a system. And we've selected the correct playbook YAML file. So let's run that. So this will take quite some time to run, in the order of 7 or 8 minutes, depending on your system's specifications, and it will make a substantial number of checks and will change system configuration settings and parameters according to the CIS level 1 benchmark. So let's just sit and let this run and make the changes that it needs to. Okay, so now we can see that the playbook has finished. If we look at the play recap down the bottom, we can see here that hundreds of checks were made by the Ansible playbook. The system had 84 configuration items changed to harden it according to the CIS level 1 benchmark for servers. I won't go into any of the details of the CIS level 1 benchmark here, but needless to say that there are changes to services, files, permissions, and more as part of this baseline change. So now we can see that our system would be compliant to CIS level 1 benchmark. So to summarize, we took some really easy steps to harden our system. We installed Ansible to be able to automate locally on our host. We hardened the host, in this case, according to the CIS level 1 benchmark, but we could have selected another benchmark, very easy to do. And all of the work that we have done and all of the automation we've used is fully supported by Red Hat. If you want to see the commands that I just ran, you can find them here. Don't forget to reboot the system when you're ready to do so. Thanks for taking the time to watch this session.